Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a process that's absolutely make or break for anyone looking to establish a new industry in the beautiful state of Uttarakhand. We are talking about demystifying the bureaucratic maze of environmental compliance, specifically how you navigate tree felling permissions. Okay, let's get right into this. The government has completely overhauled this system to create a single window process, and we're going to break down exactly how it works, what you need, and how long it takes, pulling directly from the state's Forest Department guidelines. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll cover why the system changed, the single window solution, your essential document checklist, the application process, replanting rules, and finally, the strict timelines holding the bureaucracy accountable. Section 1. Why the system changed. Navigating bureaucracy for industrial growth. So, you're setting up a new industry in Uttarakhand? For years, just the thought of the red tape involved in land clearing was enough to give entrepreneurs major anxiety. Balancing industrial expansion with forest ecology is the ultimate challenge, right? The old clearance process took months, it involved endless physical visits, it was totally opaque, and honestly, it was a massive bottleneck for economic growth. The state realized it desperately needed a solution that protected the environment while actually encouraging new businesses. Which brings us to this massive number, 340. The central government rolled out a 340-point reform action plan focused specifically on the ease of doing business. Out of those 340 points, 14 of them specifically targeted the modernization of tree felling permissions for the Forest Department. This wasn't just some minor administrative tweak. It was a strict mandate to completely digitize and streamline the process to boost the state's national ranking for business friendliness. Moving right along to Section 2, the single window solution, governed by the Uttarakhand Enterprises Single Window Facilitation and Clearance Act of 2012. The transformation here is literally night and day. The old way meant manual routing of files, bouncing from desk to desk, wildly unpredictable delays, and zero visibility for you, the applicant. But the new way, it's a 100% online application with zero physical touchpoints. You never actually have to visit a Forest Department office in person. There are now strict internal deadlines for officers and even third-party verification, where anyone can verify an approval certificate online. It's a total game changer. So how do you actually get into this new system? Well, it all starts with the CAS, the Common Application Form. Instead of filling out a dozen different forms for different departments, you just hop onto the single window portal at investuttarakhand.uk.gov.in and submit all your details and fees just once. The system then automatically routes your application to the correct nodal officers behind the scenes. It puts the power and the tracking visibility right back in your hands. All right, Section 3, checklist and documents required, what you need before you even log in. Here is your exact no-nonsense checklist. First up, identify your tree species. Exempted species under Section 21, they only require a self-certification using Form 2, but non-exempted species require Form 1. You're also going to need an Extra I, which is a certificate of ownership from a revenue officer, your basic photo ID, land records or Katoni, a detailed enumeration list, and photographs of the trees with designated numbers. Seriously, gather all of this before doing anything else. Section 4, the step-by-step application process. From the in-principle approval down to the final felling NOC. This whole process is intelligently split into two phases to protect both you and the environment. Phase 1 is the in-principle approval. Step 1, you submit that CAF online. Step 2, the nodal DFO receives it and routes it to your local divisional forest officer. Step 3, a sub-divisional officer goes out and conducts a mandatory field inspection to verify the location, the tree condition, and the distance from reserve forests. Step 4, that report goes to an empowered committee, which then grants your in-principle approval. And the best part? You just sit back and track this entire flow online using your CAF credentials. Now, once you have that in-principle approval in hand, you move to Phase 2, grabbing the actual felling NOC. Step 1, log back in and submit your Form I and those required documents we talked about. Step 2, this is where the real groundwork happens. A forest range officer hits the site and conducts a 100% enumeration of the trees and a random 75% test check of the list you provided. Step 3. If your area happens to be over 2 hectares, the sub-divisional officer has to compulsorily jump in and conduct a test check too. Step 4. All these reports get submitted online, the DFO verifies them, and boom, they formally issue your tree felling NOC. Section 5, replanting and security deposits. the green balance for sustainable industrialization. Now, legally, under Section 7 of the Act, you are strictly bound to plant and tend double the number of trees you cut down. And you can't just throw some tiny seeds in the dirt. You literally must use seedlings that are at least 4 years old, and you have to maintain them for a minimum of 5 years. This isn't a punishment. It's a structured way to ensure the state is actually doubling its green cover while still allowing for industrial expansion. To make sure you actually follow through on this replanting, the DFO will raise a demand for a security deposit before handing over that felling NOC. For the years specified in the source document, that security deposit was set at 1,500 rupees per tree. This covers the estimated cost of raising and maintaining the plants and even fencing if the site needs extra protection. But hey, don't look at this as a sunk cost. That security deposit is 100% refundable. You submit it via a bank guarantee or a national savings certificate. Then, once you submit a self-declared certificate with photographs proving you successfully planted and maintained those trees for 5 years, you get your deposit back. It's an incredibly powerful incentive for ecological responsibility, because if you fail to do it, the Forest Department just keeps the deposit and plants the trees themselves. Section 6. Timelines and approvals. Holding the bureaucracy accountable. Check out these incredibly strict deadlines imposed on the forest officers now. When your CAF is received, the Nodal DFO has just 24 hours to route it to the Sub-Divisional Officer. No messing around. The SDO then has exactly 7 days to finish their physical field inspections and submit the report online. In-principle approval must be granted within 15 days of your application. And once that's done and Form I is submitted, the DFO has a hard 30-day deadline to accord the final felling NOC. The whole thing is designed to be fully predictable, totally removing those endless open-ended waiting periods. But what if an officer just sits on your file? Well, this is where the ultimate safety net kicks in. Deemed approval. If the DFO fails to accord the tree felling permission within those 30 days, the system automatically generates an alert to the conservator of forests, and the permission is deemed to have been granted by the system itself. The system literally forces progress, ensuring your project isn't held up by someone else's bureaucratic delays. However, before you go firing up the chainsaws, I need to give you a really crucial warning. Deemed approval and even a standard felling knock grants you the right to fell the trees, but it absolutely does not grant you the right to transport them. You still need to apply for a valid transit permit from the DFO to move non-exempted timber off your property under the 2012 transit rules. Please do not accidentally commit a forest offense by moving the wood without this separate permit. And that wraps up our look at the single window tree felling process. By embracing this digital shift, Uttarakhand is proving that sustainable ecology and rapid industrial growth really can coexist successfully. If you found this update helpful, please hit the like button and share this video with fellow members. For more deep dives into the latest environmental regulations and industrial news, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. See you in the next one.